Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for Wednesday. We have 9 games tonight, starting at 7 o'clock, so let's get started. As always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it if you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Only a couple more slates left of 2021 before we move on to 2022. So let's finish the year strong. Starting off with the point guard position tonight, a couple guys that are above 10,000. You have Trae Young, Lillard, and Westbrook. The Atlanta Hawks are super low on bodies. Bogdanovich entered protocols. DeLon Wright is still out. And also, they don't have any of their power forwards back. No Collins, no Gallinari. So they only have, maybe they'll get Wes Iwundu back. But I doubt it because he just entered protocols today. So they probably going to have to call some people up because they only have Capella, Hamilton, Okafor, Trae Young, and Cam Reddish are going to have to play huge minutes. And you have Brown Jr. So Trae Young looks good. It's the same matchup that he had last time out. He's expensive, though, at 11,000, but just going to get so much usage tonight that he still makes sense in tournaments, but not somebody that I'm going to be jamming into a cash lineup. One guy that I like in particular here is down in the 6K range, and that is going to be Derek White. He's $6,800 going up against the Miami Heat. He's at home. There's no DeJounte Murray, so Derek White takes on a lot more usage, more ball handling. That other game against Detroit, he was on his way to have a very good game, but they absolutely destroyed the Pistons, so he only played 16 minutes. Followed that up with tough matchup against the Jazz and put up 43 in 35 minutes. It's another pretty tough matchup against Miami Heat, but at least they're at home. The price tag on White is still very reasonable, and I think he has a very good shot to get you over 40, just without DeJounte Murray and him taking away a lot of rebounding, shooting, and assisting. Other guys that look good at point guard could go to Eric Bledsoe at $6,400. He had a good start, but then only played 28 minutes. The game got out of hand late, so he didn't normally play his 36, 37 minutes. They're still missing Paul George and Reggie Jackson, so still like Bledsoe at a pretty good price tag. Rozier looks decent at his salary, and for value, you can go back to Payne Pritchard if Marcus Smart is still out, and because Pritchard played the entire second half last game, 45 minutes in a 48-minute game, which is absolutely insane. Kobe White at 45, he gets you in the mid-20s in minutes. He's still, occasionally can get up into the 30s, but still playing with Levine and DeRozan and Vooch, even though there's no Ball, but Ball is the least high-usage player out of that group, so it's not going to be too much of a usage bump for Kobe White. The other guys will just absorb it like they have been. At shooting guard, the Miami Heat are also very low on bodies today, just like the Atlanta Hawks, because they got hit with the protocol bug. Gabe Vincent is now in protocol. Same thing with PJ Tucker. So you're going to be getting some good value picks on Miami. If you wanted to pay up for anybody at shooting guard, you're looking at like Levine, Jaylen Brown. Brown had a okay game. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well, only 8 of 24, but he played 39 minutes. He's still a decent option, but he's getting up there in price without Jason Tatum. If you're going with the value in the mid range, look at Tyler Hero. He should be starting today without Gabe Vincent, and he's at a decent price tag. He still gives you upside there. Yeah, Duncan Robinson, fresh off of 7+ threes last night, he hit 8 of 16. He looks fine. His price tag is north of 5K. He's right at 5K, so you need him to shoot the ball well. But if you need another value pick, you can go to Caleb Martin. At $3,900, he should be starting in place of like PJ Tucker. He does give you some upside here. He's back after he's missed some time. He was in protocols, I believe. Price tag is very reasonable, and if you look at the Miami Heat roster, they are just really decimated. You have Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Yurt 7, and that is basically it. So they have like 7 guys right now, or like maybe they'll bring in some of these guys to the bottom to put in their 8th and 9th guys, but out of the core group, they only have Butler, Tyler Hero, Duncan, and that's basically it. Yurt 7 hasn't been a core piece, but he will be tonight at $4,600, getting a couple of the Miami values, and you can be able to pay up at small forward for Jimmy Butler. So right now, the Miami Heat look very appealing. Butler coming off a very good game last night, 65. He had 15 assists, so he took a lot of the ball handling responsibilities without Kyle Lowry, and should be able to capitalize in a good matchup against the Spurs tonight. And then at center, Yurt 7. At 46, he's a double-double machine. He gets you a ton of rebounds at least. Even though he's not shooting the ball particularly well some of these games, he still gives you upside just with the rebounding. At power forward, You can get up to LeBron James if you want to. He's expensive, but there's so much value on the slate that it's easy to get up to LeBron. We don't have Jokic on the slate, so give me LeBron. Gives you triple-double upside, just like Jimmy Butler can get you triple-double if he has another big game with the assist. But LeBron's just been taking over 39 minutes against Houston last night. It's risky on a back-to-back, but LeBron is just superhuman. He just comes out to play every single night and has really capitalized without having Anthony Davis there. So those are 5 guys I really like, and the last guy I'll plug in is Mason Plumlee. $4,500. She would have been a lot more popular last game, and then we got the news that DeAndre Ayton was out, so everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people went from Plumlee over to JaVale McGee, and that wasn't the right move, as Plumlee had one of his best games of the season, 40 fantasy points, almost had a double-double, missed it by 1 rebound. He had a couple of reverse dunks. That seems to be his go-to when he's getting some lobs. But I like these 6 to get you started. Leaves you with 45.50. You're getting good value at center with your 7 and Plumlee. We don't have Jokic on the slate, so I'm not worried about not missing out on Jokic's 70 points, because the only most expensive center is Julius Randle, Sabonis, guys that I can pass on. That's it for DraftKings. FanDuel is very similar, but I will share my picks for that site. So for FanDuel, point guard, you're getting good price tag on Trae Young. He looks a lot better than he does on DraftKings at 97. LaMelo looks pretty appealing. Damian Lillard looks good, even though the matchup is tough against the Jazz. You can go to Zach LaVine at his fair number. White looks better on DraftKings. He's still playable on FanDuel, but I'd probably go Brunson over Derek White at 74. But you're getting another good value piece from the Clippers, and that's Eric Bledsoe at 55. He's just a little bit too cheap, getting a lot of minutes. Last game was an anomaly because it was a blowout at the end. At shooting guard, feel very good about putting in Jaylen Brown at 88. He looks way better than his 10K number on DraftKings, and he's at home. Even if they get Smart back, they're not going to have Tatum, and they're not going to have Dennis Schroeder. So a lot of usage for Jaylen Brown. I think he can shoot a lot better than 8 of 24. Jalen Brunson looks appealing. Like I mentioned, you can play my 2 spots here. Mid 6K range, you have Terry Rozier. Looks fine. Tyler Hero looks pretty good also at $6,200. He's just going to get a big bump in minutes tonight without Max Strus and without Gabe Vincent, etc. Small forward, the best play is Jimmy Butler at 85. He looks great on DraftKings, looks even better on FanDuel. Very tough to get away from, even though it's a back-to-back. But a lot of these teams are on a back-to-back. But the Heat are just so decimated that I feel good about getting to Jimmy Butler. Second guy would be Tyler Hero at 62. He looks a lot better than other pieces here. You can go to like Sadiq Bey if you wanted to at 64. Marcus Morris. Looks better on DraftKings, still fine on FanDuel, but probably like him on DraftKings if I had to pick one site. In the 5K range, Larry Nance at 57. He's going to start at center again today without Nurkic. He had an okay game. We had a huge game from Nasir Little. Caleb Martin is viable. He looks better on DraftKings, but he's going to have to play a lot of minutes tonight. Over at power forward, you can pay up for LeBron James if you wanted to. Right now, going to Porzingis at 89. He's just in a great spot against Sacramento. They are getting destroyed by bigs, going up against like Rashawn Holmes, who does his best out there, but he's just giving up like probably 5 inches on Porzingis. I think Holmes might be like 6'9" or 6'10" at best. But Porzingis 7'3". He's been shooting the ball a lot better. Gets you blocks also, and it's a good spot to rack up those blocks against a team that likes to drive in the paint with De'Aaron Fox. Other plays would be Larry Nance at 57. Needed to go with more value. You have like McDaniels at 48. You should be starting once again today. And last but not least, at center, we don't have Jokic on the slate, so I'm looking to get to a value piece. You can go Sabonis or Vooch if you wanted to go to an expensive option. But we have a couple at the bottom with Plumlee at 55, and you have Yurt 7 at 55. I prefer Yurt 7. He's going to get a bunch of minutes tonight, even more than last night, if he's not in foul trouble, just because they have no other big without PJ Tucker. And going up against the Spurs, going up against Jakob Poeltl, who's a good defender, but they're going to need somebody to match up to him. So hopefully he stays out of foul trouble, because he's going to get the rebounds. And the matchup is on the tougher side, but he's just too good of a value piece. So right now, the Miami Heat look like the best team to target across the board, alongside with like maybe the Atlanta Hawks with some value pieces. I'm sure we'll get some more throughout the day, but that's about it for our first look tonight. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.